The Lewis store in downtown Fredericksburg is one of the nation's oldest retail stores, and on this week's edition we'll tell you about a recent renovation that allows you to come into the store and see what it might have been like back in the 18th century. So this week I'm with Shannon Lee, who is the Director of Operations for Historic Fredericksburg Foundation Inc., better known as HFFI, and we're standing inside the Lewis store at 1200 Caroline Street in downtown Fredericksburg. And Shannon, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't we start by just tell us about what HFFI is and does.
Well, we're the only preservation advocacy group in Fredericksburg. So we advocate for the preservation and restoration of some of the historic buildings. We've been responsible for many of the projects on downtown.
So tell us about the Lewis store. I know it doubles as HFFI's office. Tell us a little bit about the history of the building and what people can see here.
Well, the Lewis store is one of the earliest commercial structures in Virginia and in the United States. It is built a little fancy to catch your eye from the street, make you want to come in. We have this unique display window that would have shown things that would have been sold.
And it dates back to, I'm just looking at the history here, 1749, right? It was built by John Lewis, and his son Fielding ran the store.
Yes, yes, that's right, yes.
So incredible history. It's got to be one of the very oldest remaining buildings in the city of Fredericksburg.
Yes, yes, and in the state.
Yeah.
For commercial architecture.
So tell us a little bit about what people will see when they come in here.
Well, when you come in here, we have one display here that kind of highlights one of our earlier successes is the Kitchen Dependency Building, which would become the Visitor Center and is now, it's still on that corner of Princess Anne and Route 1. And then we have a display here of artifacts possibly from the wreck of the Dragon, Fielding Lewis's ship that he sponsored in the Revolutionary War, on which John de Baptiste was a sailor, and John de Baptiste is going to be a subject of our upcoming tour with Fredericksburg Area Museum, and Dr. Gayla Sims will be doing a talk on Black entrepreneurship in Fredericksburg, 1787 to the present, at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
We're going to meet here and tell stories through Fredericksburg.
And where can people find out more about that event?
At the Fredericksburg Area Museum website, which is famva.org.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the recent restoration project? Most recently, what was done? And
most recently, we had a summer beam reinstalled. We had tried to fix this beam issue with steel girders that did not work. So we went old school and had the tree cut down and cured for 2 years and then put back up to serve as the beam, which enabled us to replaster the walls and open up the space again.
You did a grand reopening in November, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And when can people come in to see the store? When are you open?
We are open 3 days a week now. We're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 to 3.
And I know you've got a rich research trove upstairs too, is that right? What kind of research can people do here?
We maintain files on most of the historic buildings in the historic district, and we have subject files of Fredericksburg history. So we're mostly building focused is what we do.
Okay, and how can people make an appointment to come in outside of the regular hours?
Well, you can email me at office@hffi.org.
Okay, and just finally, like, how do people find out more about HFFI and the Lewis store? What's your website?
Our website is hffi.org.
The space looks beautiful, and it's just a great example of just the rich history that Fredericksburg has, and you've done a great job with the restoration, and we hope people will come in and see it for themselves. So we appreciate you joining us today.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Okay. All right. So that'll do it for this week's edition. We'll see you next week.